man? This is your boy Town Biz back in this piece. Just dropped a couple of nice little heat rocks for you. Got a lot of stuff to do today, after I get some rest. So I'm gonna give y'all this stream. What's going on, man? What is up? So, man, like I said, this title was self-explanatory, because at the end of the day, I'm just so tired of these fighters yapping and jaw-jacking over social media and Instagram. And to me, these fighters is just too friendly with each other, man. Like I said before, man, say what you want to say about, the all-time greats, the guys like Sugar Ray Leonard, and you know what I'm saying, even though I think Sugar Ray Leonard was a tad bit overrated, but, But besides that, I'm just looking at what these fighters are doing. These dudes would rather jaw jack over the internet and instead of making fights. And then, you know what I'm saying, Bob Arum turns back into being the Bob father. And Bob Arum needs to get called out. See, I told y'all, man, I ain't got no ties to none of these dudes, man. Like I said, I'm not getting a check from nobody. Now, Bob Arum sits up and bitch whines and moans about Al Heyman doesn't want to do business. He refuses to make the fight with Errol Spence and Crawford. But then he don't want to make Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney type of Devin Haney's with the wrong promotional company. Well, wait a minute, man. You made Lomachenko and Campbell. Oh, I know. Because you knew Lomachenko could beat Campbell. And see, this is the cycle that we got going on in boxing. These managers, these promotional companies, and the fighters themselves, they don't want to make fights against people that they think they can possibly lose to. That's exactly what's going on, and that's the damn problem. All of these guys are to blame. From the black guy to the two white guys and the Mexican guy. In case you guys don't know what I'm talking about Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, you know what I'm saying, and Oscar De La Hoya. All these guys, they don't want to make the big fights unless it's a fight that they think they fighter could possibly win. That's what's going on. And the only time they consider it making a so-called super fight if they don't believe in a fighter and they ready to cash them out. What they gonna do is keep circling the wagon and maneuvering. They're all doing it. Canelo's doing it. Spence is doing it. They're all doing it. Canelo doing it with fighting Caleb Smith's guys that stand right in front of him so he could tee off on them. So like I said, everybody's doing it. Then Errol Spence hollering about he the cash cow because he supposed to be number one on some Fox app. Well, of course you're going to be number one because you on a Fox app. You fight on Fox. What you expect? And like I keep saying, Errol Spence ain't packing them in like they making it out to be. Because like I said, at the end of the day, Bud used to sell out Lincoln, Nebraska and Omaha, Nebraska. I mean, he fighting in his hometown, for God's sake. People better come see him. And then he got the inflated pay-per-view numbers. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I'm not hating on Errol Spence. I'm just telling the truth. Like I said before, I don't give a damn about no PBC apologists getting mad. Like I said, if you don't like what I have to say, there's plenty of other channels that suck up to the PBC. There's plenty of pro Errol Spence apologist channels. Take your ass there. Like I said, all these promoters and fighters is full of shit. These dudes talk about, we send people contract. Now, here's the thing. Devin Haney is starting to become the new boogeyman. Like I said, I've never seen so much difficulty with getting these fights that everybody wants to see made. So, you know what? At the end of the day, maybe I've been too hard on guys like Jake Paul. But the funny thing is, these dudes are such hypocrites that it ain't even funny. They saying that Jake Paul is a disgrace and disrespecting the sport. But at the end of the day, you guys won't make the fights that we want to see. And then to a certain degree, you have certain media members sucking up to y'all, kissing y'all ass. And they part of the problem too. As I said before, it ain't my job to talk about how much a guy should make and all this type of stuff. Because like I said, I'm not a promoter. But at the end of the day, you have to call out these fighters. And like I said, especially these so-called power to the people fighters who 1 minute they want to be Hotep dudes when it comes to I said no to DJ Blab, but then at the end of the day, I'm trying to pay a black fighter less than what I'll pay the Mexican fighter or a Puerto Rican fighter. And they need to, but they don't get called out on that because a lot of these content creators got their head so far up their ass. And like I said, go to their channels, man. For real. Stay off my channel if you not objective, if you don't want to hear the real. Because like I said, I'm getting on Bob Arum's ass now. Bob Arum has contradicted himself. Don't complain about Al Heyman when you doing the same stuff. Like I said, they all do it. Canelo doing it. What's it gonna take for us to get Canelo versus what's it gonna take for us to get Canelo versus Charlo, Demetrius Andrade? I mean, good grief. What's it gonna take? We can't get none of the fights we want. I'm tired of hearing this stuff about let it marinate, let the fight build up. I mean, say what you want to say about Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler. For the most part, at least those 4 dudes fought each other at least once or twice. But man, you could be doing the same thing with Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis, and Ryan Garcia. Trying to get all these dudes to fight each other, but it's like for real. It's like you reaching for the ceiling. Is it that damn difficult? And then the funny thing is, I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. A lot of times these dudes be thinking they slick too when they do these interviews. They think that they could just tell you some shit and then you just be like, okay. And I mean, I go along with it, but at the end of the day, I have my own theories on what's going on. Like I said, it sounds good, but at the end of the day, I have my own thoughts on what's going on. And like I said, it's just sickening. It's just sickening what's going on. To where you gotta pull your teeth. You gotta beg these guys to make fights. And some of these guys ain't near where they think they are. Like I said, you got too much Floyd Mayweather-ism going on. None of these dudes is at the level where Floyd is. Or even Pacquiao is. But for some reason, they think they are. They think they are. Don't know why. Don't know where they got that from. But they really do. They really think they on that level. And I'm here to tell you that they're not. It just got to be said. It's just like, man, what the fuck? Like I told you, I'm not here to suck up to none of these dudes. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody. I'm not here to suck up to nobody. I'm not going to suck up to these trainers. I'm not going to suck up to these boxers. I'm not going to suck up to other content creators. None of that. I'm going to keep being me. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not saying what the fans want me to say. None of that stuff. I'm not one of these type of dudes. I told people, and I'm going to continue to say this, I don't follow no script. I'm my own man at the end of the day. And that's the problem. You know, that's the damn problem. These dudes think they can say some shit to you, and then you just be like, Nah, I ain't Sling Blade. Yep. Nope. Just because you say it don't mean that I believe it. But like I said, at the end of the day, I ask them questions, they gonna answer it, or they not gonna answer it. And if they give me an answer, just because I'm gonna report what they said, but in my own personal mind, do I believe what they say? Maybe, maybe not. Because like I said before, I just think this is just ridiculous that you just got to go through hell and high water to beg some of these fighters to make fights that you want to see. Oh, I'm not taking this. Oh, I'm not taking that. I mean, the demands they want, like I said, from Canelo to him trying to handicap everybody. Like I said, Canelo want to handicap everybody. He want to control people's weight, but this is the dude that's been caught cheating, but he gets a free pass for that. Now, let me talk about Manny Pacquiao right quick. As much as I respect Manny Pacquiao is starting to get on my damn nerve too. Manny Pacquiao need to make a decision and make a decision soon. Okay, Manny Pacquiao, jaw japping. You know what I'm saying? He keeps saying, well, you know what? I know how to beat Errol Spence. Errol Spence looks slow. He don't look the same as how he looked from before the accident. Okay, Manny, you know what you just did, Manny? So if you fight Errol Spence and you happen to end up beating him, now you're going to be discredited because people going to say, oh, okay, you waited till Errol Spence got hurt and you felt that he wasn't the same, so now you taking the fight. So you just gave the Errol Spence apologists a way out in case you take the fight and you happen to win. For real. You just gave the Errol Spence apologists a way out. And now it's going to look like, okay, you are cherry picking. Because you did the same with Keith Thurman. And that's why when people were starting to say, well, you know, after seeing Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman, now I may have to say that he's better than Floyd. No, the fuck he ain't. No, he not. Because you taking advantage. So I'm just saying, you not gonna get credit because you keep you're handicapping dudes. And you taking advantage of a situation. You're not fighting Errol Spence at full strength. Now you want to fight him because you think that he's weakened and he's not the same fighter from the car accident. So like I said before, based off the fact that you admitted that in an interview, so now, like I said, you opened up the floodgate. So if you happen to beat Errol Spence, you already know who gonna be complaining about it. If you happen to fight Errol Spence and you defeat Errol Spence, you know who these dudes are. So you just gave him an opening. You just gave the Errol Spence apologists an opening. Because you admitted that you don't think Errol Spence is the same fighter since the incident. And you say Errol Spence is slow. So where was this energy 2 years ago when Errol Spence called you to the ring and you said, yeah, sure, I'll fight you? Well, it's 2021. Why didn't you fight Errol Spence immediately? Sounds like a typical Pac-Man move to me. And I respect Manny Pacquiao, but see, this is the thing. And this is the problem that I have with Manny Pacquiao fans. They pull this shit with Floyd. They'll try to discredit Floyd, and some of these other dudes, they'll discredit Floyd or any black fighter and say, oh, well, this happened. They did this, they did that. But Manny Pacquiao is trying to do the same thing to Errol Spence. He's trying to finesse him. I have to tell the truth. I saw something in Errol Spence. He not the same fighter since the accident. Okay. Yeah, I kind of saw that too. But this is the problem that I have with Errol Spence. That his nut-hugging fans refuse to acknowledge. Like I said, you could call Manny Pacquiao in the ring and challenge him to a fight, but you didn't want to let Crawford come in, the brother. And I'm always have an issue with Errol Spence with that. I'll fuck with Errol Spence, but that wasn't cool. That was weak. That was weak. And unlike some of these dudes on here, I have to take him to task on that. But we all know the Errol Spence apologists ain't gonna call him out on that. They want to remain quiet. So here's the thing now. Due to the fact, I'm going to tell you right now, here's the thing with Errol Spence. Now the pressure is going to turn to Errol Spence. There's no pressure on Manny Pacquiao. Once again, Manny Pacquiao is 42 years old. Errol Spence has to beat Manny Pacquiao. The pressure is going to be on Errol Spence to beat Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao hasn't fought in 2 years. But still, once again, they will still give Manny Pacquiao all the credit in the world. They will give Manny Pacquiao all the credit in the world if he hasn't fought in 2 years and he beats Errol Spence. And then here's the thing. Here's the funny part. By default, even though I know that Manny Pacquiao took advantage of a situation with Errol Spence, guess what also happens? If Manny Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, then not only you gonna have some of these nut huggers, these white supremacists disguised as boxing fans, not only is they gonna anoint Manny Pacquiao the GOAT, but then they're also going to make an argument that Manny Pacquiao has now became the #1 pound-for-pound best fighter in the world at age 42. Once again, the pressure is going to amount on Errol Spence to win this fight. Of course they're going to say he's the best ever. And then at the end of the day, it'll be at the end of the day, like I said, Manny Pacquiao trying to take advantage of a situation, which he should get criticized, because now you're going to look at his past 2 fights. Okay, you fought Keith Thurman, who was in and out of surgery, who basically had, when you fought him, had maybe 2 fights in the last what, 3 years, barely. And now you have Errol Spence, who was coming off a car accident, which he nearly took himself out. So I'm telling you. But then again, it could be karma for the Errol Spence apologists who was rooting for Manny Pacquiao to beat Keith Thurman. And I'm going to tell you right now, once again, if Manny Pacquiao says, you know what, the hell with Conor McGregor, I'm going to fight Errol Spence. Guess what? And Manny Pacquiao loses. Errol Spence loses to Manny Pacquiao. See, they don't want to hear the truth. You going to hear the truth on my channel. No nut hugging on my channel. And let me tell you something, like I said, once again, so Errol Spence better be real careful the next move he makes, because if he fights Manny Pacquiao and he loses, The Crawford fight is out the door, and the Canelo fight is out the door. Errol Spence could lose possibly. Yeah, he may make 15 million. He may make 15 million, or for Manny Pacquiao, but he could lose anywhere from 20 to 30 million versus Canelo or Crawford. Because like I said before, the pressure is going to be on Errol Spence. Manny Pacquiao doesn't have a damn thing to lose. Because you know why? If he loses, he's expected to lose. And then they're going to say, well, he's 42. Well, he shouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? He hasn't fought in 2 years. Y'all don't have to listen. Y'all don't want to hear this truth. Because these people too busy going on them other channels, listening to that BS. Listening to that pandering. What you mean at least he willing to fight Errol Spence? Yeah, after a damn car accident and 2 years later. Like I said, Manny Pacquiao, he cherry-picked Keith Thurman. That's fact. And now he might be cherry-picking Errol Spence as well as Conor McGregor. What's up? Well, I'm gonna tell you something about Mikey Garcia. Okay, so let's get to that right quick. I'm glad you brought that up. Mikey Garcia said he will only fight Terrence Crawford if he leaves Bob Arum, which means he doesn't want to put any money in Bob Arum's pockets. At the end of the day, Bud is going to have to do some soul searching or some decision making as well. Should he stay with Bob Arum and possibly pray that he may get certain fights, or should he just shake the spot where he could get a fight with Mikey Garcia? But see, here's the problem. Let's just say, okay, Bud shakes the spot. Now here we go again. Let me tell you what's gonna happen again. Let's just say Bud says, you know what, Bob, let me out of here. And then Errol Spence, and then Bud joins the PBC. Or he decides to be outside whatever promotional fighter, where he goes wherever he wants to go. Let's just say he fights Mikey Garcia. Let's just say Crawford mops the floor with Mikey Garcia, which he will. Crawford is going to mop the floor with Mikey Garcia. He's going to stop him. You know what's going to happen? Then you're going to have the Errol Spence apologists that's going to try to discredit Bud like they tried to do with Kell Brook after they begged Bud to fight him. Then they going to say, oh, well, Errol Spence already beat Mikey Garcia. He softened y'all already know this is going to happen. So at the end of the day, it's a big money fight for Bud, but then you're going to have people that's not going to give him credit, even if he does it better. Because you're going to have the Errol Spence nut huggers that's going to say, oh, well, Errol Spence needs to get credit. You know who they are. I don't have to say no names. I promise you. Y'all know that's going to happen. Do not sit up here and tell me that's not going to happen. I promise you that's what's going to happen. Mikey getting stopped if he fight Bud. Like I keep telling you, styles make fights. Keep in mind, Bud already beat Mikey Garcia twice in the amateurs. Well, if that's the case, then um, if that's the case, then Kell Brook wasn't the same after Triple G got a hold of him, and Errol Spence fought him coming off a loss. Now, at least if Bud fights Mikey Garcia would be coming off a win over Jesse Vargas. Jesse Vargas is a solid fighter, but at the end of the day, we know Jesse Vargas is he one of them dudes. He don't do nothing extraordinary well. He's just a solid fighter. So it's going to happen. Adrian Broner versus Bud? That's a horrible fight for Adrian Broner due to the fact that he don't let his hands go. Bud would put blenders on Adrian Broner. But I think Adrian Broner need to worry about. Adrian Broner is got a fight coming up. The plan is to match Adrian Broner up with Regis. That's the fight that's gonna get made sometime this year. They're gonna let Adrian Broner get a tune-up fight in or two, and then he gonna fight Regis. And good luck with that damn. And I just want to say to AB, good luck with that damn fight. But they also been talking about putting Regis in the ring. You know, they've been talking about matching him up with somebody else too. At the end of the day, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Due to certain, I'm just going to tell the truth. Shit, I ain't scared of nobody on here. Ain't nobody going to do shit to me. Due to the fact that Bud's name been dragged through the mud by a lot of different media people because he's refused to do interviews with them or whatever the case may be, and people say Bud got a bad attitude. Bud has completely fell out of favor with certain people that watch these content creator channels. So at the end, and it's a shame because Bud is a black man like most of us, and that's why I don't pay attention to these fake so-called pro-black whole tip channels, because a lot of the hatred that's aimed towards Bud has been created by black media, not Hispanic media, not white media, by other black media, and that's fact. So that's why certain people, no man, it don't matter, man. Bud could knock the devil out himself, and they'll say that Bud caught the devil at the right time. Because people have this stigma, they already just have this hatred for Bud no matter what. And what I tried to do was try to suppress it and stop it. But people have their minds made up because you had a lot of content creators spending a lot of their time trying to discredit Bud as a person and a fighter because he didn't do interviews with them. As I said before, I'm past that. I interviewed Bud a couple of times. I got past it. You know what I'm saying? As I said before, Bud is welcome on my channel whenever. You don't have to be a black PBC fighter to be welcome on my channel. You can be a Golden Boy fighter. You are welcome on my channel. If you want to come on here, and I don't even care what race you are, if you want to come on here, you're welcome here. But that's been the problem. That you had a lot of these dudes that were content creators attacking Bud as a man, as a person, and then trying to tie this to the just entirely to the LDBC and try to make it look like the LDBC was against Bud. Where you had some of these other content creators making it look like, well, if you ain't a PBC fighter, the LDBC is against you. And that's not true. It ain't just Bob that's the problem. All these dudes are the damn problem. Everybody is the damn problem. So that's what's been going on. That's why Bud never gets any credit. If he fights Mikey Garcia, he's going to be discredited. I promise you that. They'll say Mikey Garcia is an Errol Spence leftover. Just like they said Kell Brook is an Errol Spence leftover, but he lost to Triple G first. But I'm explaining to you why people have this disdain for Bud. And it's been caused by black content creators that try to play that pro-black shit. And they really ain't pro-black. They just opportunists. Thank you. Winners train losers. Thank you. Somebody that finally get it. None of these dudes want to do business with each other. None of them want to match their best fighters up against each other because they worried about a loss or whatever the case may be. But that's how boxing works. Roberto Duran got knocked out. He quit in the fight and people still have him as an all-time great. Sugar Ray Leonard got stopped by Hector Camacho. Got the shit beat out of him by, for real. He got by Terry Norris. Thomas Hearns got knocked out a few times. Thomas Hearns got knocked out by Hagler. He got knocked out by Barkley. It happens. Yeah, terrible Terry Norris, who got damn near killed by Julian Jackson, who got stopped by Mike McCallum, who Mike McCallum lost to James Toney twice. So that's what I'm saying. It happens. It happens. You win some, you lose some. And that's the damn problem. Everybody is trying to be boxers and their own managers at the same time. Like I said, Teofimo ain't beat nobody of the likes to where he talked about he should get 10 million per fight. Dude, please. I would say nigga please, but you ain't black. I know your daddy like to use the N-word, and he ain't black neither, so I'm just saying. Neither one of them is black, but I'm just saying. Teofimo beat an overrated Lomachenko, who was never really that good to begin with. Lomachenko got matched up perfectly by Bob Arum against certain styles. We all knew Lomachenko had short arms. We knew Lomachenko couldn't fight going backwards. We knew Lomachenko wasn't a good counterpuncher. He would jump in and jump out. So we already knew that Teofimo was going to give him fits for the most part. But Teofimo beat him going away. So we already knew that Lomachenko was a hype job to begin with. He was a great white nope. Not the great white hope, nope. N-O-P-E. Nope, he wasn't that good. And like I said, the nerve of ESPN disrespecting black fighters and non-black fighters, saying that this dude who fought next to nobody, they had the audacity to say after 12 fights and a loss to a dude that had double-digit losses that he was better than Ali, he was better than Ray Leonard, he was better than Floyd, he was better than stop it. It was racist, and that's just the bottom line. Where all these Lomachenko fans at now? Because like I said, they only was rooting for him because he was a white, overrated Eastern European fighter. Where they at now? Nowhere to be found. And it was the same thing with that other fraud, Triple G. Where they at now? They know the truth. Triple G is a fraud. Like I told you before, I said this 3 years ago. Actually, I said it like 5 years ago that Triple G was a fraud. Everybody, I took a lot of slack, even from some black content creators that saw it. That saw my videos. Oh man, you hate no Triple. No, I just know what I see. He's not that good. And he fought certain type of fighters. When you have a life and death fight with Daniel Jacobs and then Derevyanchenko, who fought tough? Man, Triple G didn't fight nobody. That man got credit for fighting truck driver after truck driver. Who was Rosario? I mean, for real, Rosario damn near had double-digit losses. Everybody and their mama beat Rosario, except Daniel Jacobs. Rosario wasn't that good. Oh, man, you don't even want to get me started on Lomachenko. Nicholas Walters hadn't fought in over a year. And where's Nicholas Walters at now? Rigondeaux, too small. Rosado was never that good. Lost to everybody and their mama. So I'm just saying. I mean, I would really have to do research on some of these dudes Triple G would be fighting. Look who he just fought. Look at his last. Who has he fought since he been on DAZN? Nobody. Man refuses to fight Charlo. Refuses to fight Demetrius Andrade. And and nobody says nothing. But like I said, they always try to push the goalpost back for black fighters. Like I said, here's the thing. When black fighters get knocked out, it's a sensational knockout. But then if a black fighter knocks out a non-black fighter, then all of a sudden, yeah, you never hear people celebrating that. You didn't hear people giving Tank credit for knocking Leo Santa Cruz out. But I guarantee you, had Tank got knocked out, then everybody gonna be saying, man, give him his props. Give him his props. Everybody want props for their fighters, but they don't want to give the brothers props. And that's why I don't fuck with a lot of these dudes. That's why I don't fuck with a lot of them. That's why, for the most part, I stay in my own lane. Because I know they full of shit. Lomachenko had a life or death fight with Linares. That was all the signs in the world that told me, and y'all shit, and I told you it was coming. After the Linares fight, after the Pedraza fight, I told you it was coming. Struggled against Luke Campbell. I told you it was coming with Lomachenko. So I'm just saying, like I said, I saw all this stuff. I saw all this stuff with Triple G. These dudes grabbing these fighters out the boxing catalog that you never heard of. Say what you want to say about Bud, but at least you heard of the people that Bud fought. I never heard of none of these dudes that Triple G, oh, he's undefeated. So, who is he? You name one pound per pound fighter that Triple G beat. Exactly. Man ain't never beat a pound per pound boxer in his life. And then when he had a chance to fight him and possibly stake his claim as being an all-time great, won't fight him. Won't sign the contract. Like I said, I'm sitting in front of 7-Eleven now. That's who Triple G fight. He fight guys that work at 7-Eleven. And then he want people to give him credit. Where his fans at now? That was talking all this shit. Oh, tell you just don't like him because he's not black. Because they know the truth about the dude. And then when he pulled that shit with Andre Ward, he was the one calling Andre Ward out. Andre Ward wasn't checking for him. He the one that said, I'll go up to 168 and fight Andre Ward. And then as soon as Andre Ward came knocking, no. I mean, for real. Well, Felix, what? Am I lying? Am I lying? Like I said, I've never seen a dude get so much praise for fighting dudes that work at 7-Eleven and Foot Locker. Like I said, how many shoe salesmen you gonna fight? Like I said, man, I'm standing for. I'm serious, man. I'm just telling the truth, man. I'm just keeping it 100, man. A lot of people can't handle this truth. Like I said, I'm waiting for somebody to tell me that the last dude Triple G fought, that you heard of that dude. In most cases, when you can't even pronounce their name, that's already telling you that's a bad sign right there. But M Stack, he was the one that called out Andre Ward. Andre Ward wasn't checking for him. He said he'll go up to 168 and fight Andre Ward. Then as soon as Andre Ward came knocking, he went the other direction. Fans got mad. They was talking about who tell Andre Ward to lead Triple G. Wait a minute, man. Triple G was the one that called Andre Ward out. You get mad at somebody for saying, okay, well, let's make the fight happen. Man, just stop it. I'm like T Grizzly, man. This shit is like for real, man. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. Stop with this. Miss me with that bullshit, man. This shit too easy. Well, I mean, Triple G was acting like what he was, half white. Of course he did. Of course he did that to Abel Sanchez. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? Even though Triple G's mama is Asian, like Korean or something. So, I mean, but his white side kicked in. Abel Sanchez got him to a certain place. Then he didn't need him no more. But he did fire Abel Sanchez for a black guy. Go figure. Yeah, I remember that when Triple G said he'd fight anybody from 154 to 175. See, a lot of people don't remember that. I remember that shit. Once again, he the one that was bumping his gums. Oh, yeah, of course they do, Warren. The only time they like a black boxer is when he loses. And especially if he gets knocked out. Like I said before, everybody keep forgetting when Floyd beat the living breaks off of Canelo, all the excuses came in when Canelo was the one that was calling Floyd out. Canelo was the one that said, hey, he want to fight Floyd. And then everybody would say, Floyd, oh, he'll never fight Canelo. He'll never fight. Soon as the fight got announced, oh man, Canelo, he too green. He too green. He not ready. I was like, yeah, I knew it. So they do that all the time. They do that all the time. Said Andre Ward was a coward if he didn't fight Sergey Kovalev a second time. Then when Andre Ward fought him a second time and stopped him, oh, Andre Ward was hitting him low. Andre Ward was hitting him low. So that's what I mean. They're going to do whatever it takes to discredit a black fighter. So, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. This is fact. This is fact. Andre Ward ran it back with Sergey Kovalev. Because remember, people said that Andre Ward lost the first fight. Then when he stopped Sergey Kovalev, they still refused to give him his props. Excuses. Oh, he was hitting them low. So I'm just telling y'all, man. Like I said, boxing is boxing is in deep trouble. Like I said, all these fighters, every last one of them is on some bullshit. Oh, appreciate the donation. Appreciate that, Joe. Like I said, I was one of the very few people that saw the light, which I knew Triple G wasn't that good. I knew Lomachenko wasn't that good. And then the thing is, they actually had the audacity to try to list Lomachenko as an undefeated fighter. ESPN tried to do that shit. They tried to make up their own record for Lomachenko. Like I said, anybody that lose to a journeyman fighter ain't no damn best fighter in the world. They ain't no pound for pound. It was a lie. They knew it. It was a damn lie from the gate. Everybody knew it. And people started to see it. Everybody started to see what was going on. Like I said before, they saw it in Lomachenko. They saw. Now remember, I was the one that reported that the fight with Teofimo was gonna happen. I reported it 3 weeks before it was announced. When they were saying the fight wasn't gonna happen, I said the fight gonna happen. The fight gonna happen. It's going to happen, and it happened. I'll still be talking to these people. Like I said, Lomachenko, he know it's over for him. You 16 and what? You 16 and 2? And he damn near got knocked out. He was about to get stopped. Look, if Teofimo go in there even more focused and don't take Lomachenko lightly, he's stopping Lomachenko. He's knocking him out. He's stopping him. He's stopping him. That's fact. It's going to happen. So I'm just saying, man. So the Lomachenko charade is pretty much done. The only thing Bob can do is like he'll find somebody. He'll find somebody for Lomachenko to fight. I guess with an okay name. But I told everybody when Lomachenko was was talking about he could go up to possibly 140. I said Lomachenko better not go up to 140. Lomachenko ain't even that big at 135. Lomachenko is a little tiny ass dude, man. That's why I laughed at Lomachenko. That man was scared to fight Pacquiao. But then again, I don't blame him. And like I said before, it was laughable when Bob Arum told that fucking lie that Lomachenko could beat Floyd Mayweather. On what planet? On what, man? Lomachenko couldn't beat Floyd if Floyd had one hand tied behind his back. Floyd could beat Lomachenko with one hand. Stop it. Pretty boy Floyd would have destroyed Lomachenko. So stop it. It was a joke. It was a joke. I'll look into that. All right, man. I'll be back later. I got to get this gas and shit. But I'll probably do another stream later on.